Hi. I guess I'm addicted to making videos now, so I had to make another one. Over nothing really important. It was just something. I had this weird urge to make a video over, like, weird questions and stuff, but I couldn't think of the weird questions that I wanted to ask. So I ended up writing a list of kind of weird or funny, awkward things that make me mad. And I think some of you guys can relate to why that's irritating. And some of you guys would be like, that's kind of a really odd thing to be angry about. But that's why I said sort of funny things, because sometimes they just don't make any sense. So, and again, they're not in like numeric order or anything, they're just written as is. The first one that I said, well, actually, the first one should be when I accidentally step on a bug. And today that would be a moth that I accidentally stepped on, and I didn't know what I had stepped on. It started fluttering beneath my foot. I didn't like that. Okay. But, yeah, that would be one of them. But that doesn't happen very often. So the first one would be when I'm unaware that I'm waiting on someone who isn't in line. I think we've all had that moment when we're waiting in line at a store and we're stuck behind this one person that we think's like gonna go in line and they don't move and we're like, why aren't you moving? And then like 7 minutes later the guy turns around and is like, oh, I'm not in line. Why didn't you tell me that sooner? Okay, the next one is when I touch something gross. It doesn't matter how many times I wash my hands, I still feel like my hands have been, like they're still contaminated. So I'll just be like scrubbing and scrubbing and scrubbing, and I will still feel like it's on my hands. The next one is when people don't use blinkers. Oh my god. It's so irritating. You don't know what freaking lane they're gonna go into, especially when you're on the highway, and you're just like, buddy, use your freaking blinker! A lot of these are, well, not a lot of them, but I think car ones are the ones that most people would get. And when people go 5 miles an hour around a really wide corner that you don't need to brake on. You know, you could go like 40 around it and you'd be fine, but these people think that they need to go like snail speed to get around it. Oh my god, that just irritates me. The next one. When I can't lock a bathroom door, I always lock the bathroom door. Doesn't even matter if I'm brushing my teeth or not, I will lock it. I don't really know why I do this. And so I get kind of freaked out. And again, I don't know why I get freaked out when I hear people that like don't lock their bathroom door. It just bothers me, probably just because I do it so often. So when I can't lock a bathroom door, I just won't go. Yeah. When I can't close doors before I fall asleep, I just will not sleep, or I will find another place to sleep, because I always keep my doors closed. I had a very traumatic nightmare when I was young that involved something coming out from a closet door, and it kind of scarred me for life, I guess. And so ever since then, I have to keep all doors closed. It doesn't even matter if it's a closet. I mean, the closet doors have to be shut, but like the door has to be closed. Everything has to be closed. I can't see like a gap of shadow coming from a door, or I will freak out and I will not sleep, or I'll just get up and shut it. So I tend to prefer to like to drive my car when I'm hanging out with friends, and I prefer to sit on the outside of seats when I am having like a meal with people, because I guess I've never gotten this checked out, but I do have a claustrophobia issue, and I didn't realize it until somebody had pointed it out that I have this tendency. I have to be able to have a way to get out of something. So, if I can't sit on the outside seat, I will either, no, I don't know. A lot of my friends actually let me sit on the outside seat. I don't know if I didn't. I would bring a seat over, or I would be stuck on the inside seat, and then stuck on the inside seat, and I would be very unhappy and cranky the entire time. Yeah, and I would eat really fast and leave really fast. Okay. This one's so big for me, and my friends know this, because I'll just get this look on my face, and I'm just like, when people quote movies incorrectly. I'm such a big movie buff, and so when people try to like sound all fancy and they quote their quotes and they end up like switching these words around or missing a like important chunk of the quote, I'm like, do your freaking research. That is not what what's his face said. Especially if I know the movie well. So bad. The next one is when people don't know the lyrics to a song and they try to sing it. It's just like, why? Like, it's endearing, and you feel kind of bad. I mean, granted, I don't know a lot of song lyrics, but I don't attempt to sing them if I don't, or I take the time to learn them. And I have this one friend in particular who will try to sing along when I sing the songs when we're like driving through town or whatever. Oh, and I love her to death, but man, sometimes it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And then the other one, let's see, another one is when people can't spell things correctly. I was a huge like spelling geek in elementary school. I've always been a spelling geek. I prided myself on that. So when I see something spelled incorrectly, or when the grammar is horrendous, or when people just simply don't know how to like create when the structure of somebody's paper is so completely off, you know what I'm saying? Like they don't know how to write like a decent normal paper. Like I had to help my dad one time write like a business paper, and I read it, and there were like no paragraphs, and I was like, how can this be happening? So I had to rewrite his entire thing and add more intellectual like vocabulary into his vernacular, because it was just so bad. It's just so bad. Oh, it's just so bad. And I guess that's what happens when you're an English major, but it was just like, oh god, why? I'm sorry, my hair is hideous today. Oh, the last one is when people ask me to help them write papers. I am not good at teaching. I'm just not. And a while ago, there was this girl who asked me to help her write her paper because apparently nobody taught her to write a thesis. Really? You're in college. You don't know how to write a thesis? Come on! Like, what kind of a freaking high school did you go to? It's just, and so I couldn't do it, and like I couldn't just teach her how to do it, and she didn't even understand what I was saying, so I ended up writing the entire paper for her. That was my bad, and I know that sounds like, oh my god, Katie, you helped somebody cheat, blah, and I'm like, I know, but it was just making me so mad because she couldn't get it through her head what I was trying to say. So I was just like, F it, and I wrote the entire thing. And the last one that is a not so funny, irksome, is when I see students who disrespect professors. this happened today in my ASL class, and my ASL presser, I'm sorry, that's not even a thing. Professor, sorry, he's a really nice, open-minded, generous, kind, compassionate, humorous man who gives us the time we need to actually absorb what is being taught to us. And I absolutely appreciate that. I mean, in any of the other language classes I've taken, I felt like it was so rushed, you know? And I think a lot of people who have taken foreign languages feel that way, that you don't even have time to absorb what you just learned because the professor is moving on to a new concept. And so you're just completely lost. But anyways, this morning I was in class and we were like, you know, studying for this quiz that we had today. And, playing with a knife, sorry. And nervous twitches. Uh-oh, now it's stuck. Anyways, studying for this quiz before class actually started. Well, we had like a 20-minute period where we're actually like trying to chit-chat with each other. Just about how our week's been, or how our weekend was, or blah blah blah. And our professor went over to this one girl who I have a little bit of a beef with just because she is so disrespectful to the professor. And didn't understand in the very beginning of class that the professor was deaf. He is deaf. And kept shouting at him to get his attention. And I think the rest of the class and I were just like, how can you not comprehend the fact that he cannot hear you? It doesn't matter how loud you try to yell, he will not hear you. And something about that was really irritating, that she just couldn't grasp the fact that somebody can't hear her. So, anyways, today, like he normally does, he'll walk up to a student and be like, you know, how are you? And we'd be like, oh yeah, you know, we're fine, or we're good, or blah, blah, blah. And he went up to this one particular girl and was trying to get her attention to ask her this question. And, she was studying. Because I won't even go there. But I looked at her, I was watching what was happening, and, you know, he's like smiling and trying to get her attention because he's such a nice, you know, friendly, just blissful guy. And she wouldn't look at him. She didn't look at him. Like, I could see her, and she's looking down and, like, looking up, knowing that he's standing right in front of her, and refuses to look up. And like a few seconds pass, and he's still doing this, and she knows that he's there. She finally looks up, and she is so pissed. Like, she has like this fire in her eyes, and it's kind of, she almost had this like arrogance about her, like, how dare you try to talk to me when I'm studying, blah blah blah. It was just, that makes me so mad, because this particular professor taught himself how to speak. He taught himself how to speak. He's deaf, okay? He taught himself how to speak. And he takes so much time answering our questions because we're curious and we want to learn. And if he knows that we won't understand a concept, he will say that he's going to speak and he will try to talk to us, which is, I'm sure, not easy for him. And you have to remember, like, the fact that he had to teach himself how to speak was something that we take for granted all the time. He deserves so much more respect than what anybody else can give him. So to have this girl not even give him the light of day and be like, how dare you bother me when I'm studying, even though I'm a really crappy student anyways, I was just like, oh, it made me so mad. So please, if any of you guys are students, respect your professors, because they don't have to fucking teach you. And the good professors, good, I guess I mean good as, I don't even know how to define good. I guess you define good how you want to define it. But the ones that take their time, like take time out of their day separately to help you out because they care about what you're learning, they deserve the most respect. And it's so upsetting. I mean, if I put myself in his shoes, I would be furious. Or I would be wondering, what did I do wrong? Like, why does she think that it's such a nuisance to try to talk to me or to have me talk to her? It's like, what is that? What is that? It's just, it's disgraceful. Truly. That type of attitude is disgraceful and should just be dismissed. It should be ripped out of the world and just thrown out. Now, as for the bad professors, that's a different story. But, you know, like, the really good ones, they deserve patience, and they deserve attention, and they deserve all focus. Because obviously, they're passionate about their students, and they're passionate about what they're teaching. Otherwise, they wouldn't be there. Anyways, that was my rant. And, yeah, so, I'm trying to think of what else is new. Possible new job opportunity. I'm not sure about it yet, so I'm not going to say anything, but that's exciting. Anyways, I signed up for summer classes, and I kind of feel like I sold my soul to Satan, but whatever, I have to get that done. And, yeah, signed up for fall classes too, which is exciting. Only Tuesday and Thursday classes, which is cool. And, that's about it. That's all I gotta say, which is kind of sucky. The weather is nice, I guess. It was really gray and gross this morning, but now it's all bright and beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna shut up now. Bye.